Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck on this 4th of July. 8 of Stones and Skill. And when I thought about this card today, I was like, yeah, not too many people are going to be working on their skill set today. They're going to be out there just having fun, enjoying the 4th, enjoying the time off, and, taking time away from their skill set, right? But, this card did come up, and, the good thing about it is, the one thing I always focus on is the hand up there on the wall, right? So this guy has put his hand on his craft. His hand is on the mark, right? And he knows exactly what he's doing. And just like you, on your spiritual path, you have your hand on your mark, right? You have your hand on your path as you're moving forward. We've talked a lot about, moving forward and letting go of things and transitioning from one pond to another with the Queen of Arrows down here and, the King of Bows saying, take charge of your spiritual path. And, now's a great time to be able to sit back while you have the time off and look at the skills that you do have, right? If you are unsatisfied in your relationship, how is that affecting your communication skills? How's that reflecting on your emotional skills, right? If you're always, if you're in a relationship that's not fulfilling, okay, there's going to be a lot of downtime. There's going to be a lot of depression. There's going to be a lot of, I really don't, want to do things. All right. And, that is not in your skill set. Okay. Because you're vibrant, you're exciting. You want to be out there. Okay. You want to have that high energy. And you don't need that person, that's around you dragging you down, right? So you look at those emotional skills, you look at the communication skills, and, you look at your family and stuff like that. It's like, okay, how do I make this more interesting? Maybe it was, I can make it more interesting by having more parties, right? Or, hey, let's go out and do different things. Let's go out for a walk. Let's go out for a run, all right? Things of that nature, where it's not so self-centered, it's other centers, right? And you use those skills to start communicating. The biggest thing that I look at too is, if you're not happy in your career, update that resume. You've got the green woman down here to nurture you, all right, and give you that, that feeling of protection. The Queen of Arrows is down here, and she's giving you the advice of, being able to, what help do you need to ask for, right? Six of Vessels is the reunion. So, you might be reuniting with some old people that are striking up these feelings. And, you look back at that and you say, okay, how can I use this skill set to move forward? In a career, okay, it's easy to, put it down on your resume, right? And get that resume out there. And, when things happen, when you take charge, like that King of Bows, that adder that's out there, things start happening. But it takes dedication and intense concentration, out there to, to hone that craft, right? There's, it might be getting easier. I don't know. But, AI is out there to help, push things forward, to help, land that job, be creative and stuff like that. But you still have to learn that skill, right? You still have to learn that Chat GPT and, all the other stuff that's out there, to enhance your resume just so you can get the foot in the door, right? How is that skill set? You might have to learn new things, okay? And, when you do that, you become more proficient at it. Okay, your first day, you may land that job or you may be in that new relationship. The first day is always going to be rosy. It's the days after where you're going to have to learn and you're going to have to grow and you're going to have to use your knowledge, right? To understand, another person's being and understand how the company works, all right? And, when you develop those new opportunities, new challenges exist as well, okay? And that sometimes leads to better opportunities, better challenges, and with that, you start that steady climb up. You have that growth. The key is being patient and perseverance. Going at it day after day after day after day. It's like that drip on that rock. Just drip, drip, drip. You're working on that skill set. You're working on your communication. You're working on, whatever it is that's going to move you forward successfully on your spiritual path to make you happy. Okay? And if if you're working on that spiritual path, you're growing. You're learning new things. You're seeing how the planets are aligning with with yourself on the earth. All right. You're looking at other astrologers. You're looking at other tarot readers and seeing what resonates. Okay. And you start opening up yourself, your intuition. And that's a skill set that you have to, on your spiritual path, you have to open up, you have to connect with. All right. Because your guardians, your ancestors, those other spirits, they want to see you succeed. They want to see you continue to grow. All right? But if you're tuned out of the world and you're not tuned into yourself, then it's not going to be a pleasant path for you, let's just say, right? So you have to master those skills in your skill set, to continue moving on your spiritual path. And, once you do, you become divinely blessed and you're moving forward and it just fills you up with positive energy. And that's what this walk is all about. The Spirit's path is all about positive energy. It's all about finding, who you are truly in spirit. So, work on that skill set. I get it. Take today off where you're not working on a skill set because it's the 4th of July, but that's today's card of the day. 8 of Stones, skill. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, share it with others. Check out the link down below if you like a tarot reading. And this is D for the Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care, God bless, and stay safe, everybody.